Hello there, guys. Welcome back. We're gonna continue here with the this week with the rest of the stuff that we need to cover. Um, I got ZBrush here open the moment as it comes up. So what I'm gonna show you now is how to use the spotlight. Now, the spotlight is a very well integrated tool within ZBrush that will allows you to bring textures into your actual viewport here, and those textures will allow you to use them for painting your model, for actually sculpting the detail back into the model. But this is something that we're going to cover later on, later during the semester, not now. What I want you to know is that I want to show you that you can use a spotlight as well just to load up references in your viewport. But like I said, I advise you to use pure ref so you can have your reference in another piece of software, perhaps in another screen, most likely. Everybody got two screens right now. At the moment, I got two screens as well, so it should be fine. And as well in university, the facilities that we have in Compass House in Anglia Ruskin University, they do have two screens per PC, so you should be fine. But you can save those references. Let me show you here quickly. If I open, I'm gonna drag here pure ref back into the menu here, so you can see you can here if you right click on the software, you can just go here into save and you can just save them, or you can just load them up later. And what it does is saves a file called with extension .pur pure ref, and then it's pretty much a file format that allows you to embed all these files. But you can open them like that, and you can just zoom in. You can create a pot of ones here, another one there. You can arrange them however you want, and then you can just use them as you need. At the moment, I got these references, which I'm gonna provide. You can find these on the internet. I found the internet, so they're quite nice. So I'm just gonna use them, and I'm gonna put them in the on the week, respectively, in the week that when we upload your file, then it should be in the canvas. But you can find anywhere, whatever works for you guys. I mean, for me, I think I found this one they're quite simple. I know we're gonna do stylized characters. We're not doing photorealistic characters. But I'm gonna talk to you about this in a minute. But for now, I just wanted to know that I want to import this file into the actual ZBrush spotlight. So I'm just gonna go back here and just go back to here, ZBrush. So I'm just gonna minimize this. I'm just gonna do spotlight just to hide this sort of project view. You click the spot and sorry, in the light box there. So the way this works is that you need to import the actual image into ZBrush and then use it to bring it into the spotlight. Spotlight is situated here in the menu that calls texture. By the way, guys, every time you have a texture, a menu like this, you can just click on this little icon and then just drag him and put him here if you want to. And then you put this button here, you can just undock him. The same, you can just click on this little button there, and you will have here an extra panel here you can work, and you can just click, you can move up and down by clicking here. The same goes in here. This one will get populated once you have something in the viewport here, like a 3D model. But then you can see there's loads of menus within menus, and you can have anything. Again, you can just click and drag this one, and then just leave it there. And you can just click in there and dock it, just by clicking this little button, and then click and drag it, okay? Another thing as well that I could tell you was that for everything you find on the screen, if you press, for example, here, and you press Control, then Control and hold, it will give you a tooltip of what the file is supposed to do. Okay, so that it happens to anything. So I can go here into, for example, this, and then click here. You see, it will give me an explanation of what those are, booleans. The same here. Press Control and hold, and then it will give me an explanation. So it's quite handy in that way. So what we're gonna do is gonna use the spotlight in order to bring that image inside here for now. But we need to know that we're not going to be using Spotlight to its full potential, because that is more for texture, and we're going to use it later on during the semester. But for now, I just want you to use it so you can bring images. So the way this works, you go into texture, then you go into hit import, and then you go and find that file. I got that file here on here, and I'm going to import this file and say open. And the file, nothing happened. This is the only thing is that this file you see is available here for us to work with. Okay. So you click here, you select it, and you hit this button, which is Add to Spotlight. You click that there, this happens, okay? Now, before I continue, I'll tell you how this is going to be working. I'm going to show you that this is a piece of artwork by David Viadel. David is a technician that we have here at Anglia Ruskin University. He's a very well accomplished artist. He's a 2D character artist. He has a master in education, he has a master in animation as well, and he has a degree in fine art. So he's a very good artist. If you want to come ever again to asking a question about art specific or colors and things like that and character design specifically, he's the man to go to. He's very good at it. So I asked him and he allowed me to use this character. I'm not going to use it 100% because we only have just one image, but I'm going to probably try to use the skin, the face and the hair for this, and then some of the clothing, and then perhaps I will change a little bit of the arms because it might be a bit tricky to do it in 3D, but we're gonna just stylize it in that way. So this is pretty much the artwork that I'm gonna be using. Okay, so I'm going to use a spotlight. You can, if you got these two rings here, or this inner ring, you click here, it will allow you to move this gizmo, and this is just a way of having this sort of toolbar that you can work on. If you click on this here, it will drag it, but then you can drag the image as well. I advise you, if you want to know a little bit more about this, to go online on YouTube and then type Spotlight tutorial in Pixology, and it will tell you how to use it, what every single one of these buttons do. I personally never needed to use it because I use pure ref, and not necessarily I done complicated stuff with this. But the one that we're going to be using is this button. So if you click here on this little in the middle, you can see, because the thing is, because we're white, it's quite difficult to see the UI. So I'm going to put it here, and then I'm going to go into scale, and I click on this, and I'm just going to scale it down. You can see you can scale it up and down. Okay, you can do all this stuff. You can do scale it. You can put I think you can change the opacity as well. You can just make it transparent a little bit if you want to, and then you can just go click here and then just move them up if you want to. Scaling a bit more, move it to the corner. Okay, and then leave it there if you want to. Okay. The opacity is a bit too dim at the moment, so I'm going to make it more transparent. The way the spotlight works is by default is that whatever is black in the image, it will be transparent, and whatever is white is going to be solid or brighter. So you could go into Photoshop and then treat this image and then just bring it back in, and then you will be able to just get rid of all this outline. You will only have the character as it is, but you have to go and do it. So I didn't do that. So just want to let you know that you can do that. Again, if you go to the tutorial online, you can find how to use this tool. We're going to be using just for a simple thing at the moment. We're not going to use it for anything complex. So if you want to hide this, you press Z and you hide the gizmo. Z, you bring it back in. If you want to hide the whole spotlight, including the image, you press Shift Z and it hides everything. And Z, you bring back the spotlight. Okay? So we're going to leave this guy here for now. Now, if you want to continue working on what you have here, okay, you are going to have to disable the original functionality of the spotlight, because the spotlight, every time you bring an image, you will use this image for sculpting or for texturing. So by default it's on. So if you do that and if you leave this as it is and you start working on a sphere or something, you start sculpting, you will see that you will not be able to do anything. It's because it's waiting for this image to be on top of this, so you can actually pass the information to the sculpt by doing it with add or subtract, or just with color as well if you want to. But what we're going to do, we're going to disable that temporarily, so you are allowed to go back to work normally and then continue your work. And you only have this as a reference. You can have more, you can load up more of them if you want, and then you can just put them around here if you want to. You can arrange them in panels, put them here at the bottom, it's up to you. I don't have much space, like I said, so I'm just going to show you how it is, but I'm not going to be using it. I've got my pure ref on the other screen, so I will be able to see that. So the next thing we're going to do is, in order to disable this functionality, is and then probably let me show you here quickly what I mean by sculpting. So if I take, I don't know, let's say I'm going to take this cube, I'm just going to draw it. Okay. Remember, if I try to do something, it will give me an error because it's a primitive. It hasn't been converted into Polymesh 3D. So every time you use one of these primitives in here, you have to convert it into geometry. Okay. So if I do this, and then I have to go into Make Polymesh 3D, and now when I sculpt, you can see. Let me see if I can. Maybe let me see how many. Yeah, I don't have many space. Yeah. Okay, let me see if I want to increase this. So you can see that I can. Let me see. Well, you see, I can't do anything, and the reason I can't do anything is because it's waiting for this image here to be on top in order for it to do something. Now what I'm going to do is, in order to show you what I mean by this, I will not be able to do anything because this image here is supposed to be on top of this, and I will be able to transfer either depth information, sculpt information, or the color, in this case just black and white. But for example, if I take this cube and then I'm going to just temporarily, don't worry about what I'm doing here, we're just going to explain that at some point later on. But here, if I divide, you can see that now, you might not be able to see it much here, but I got here quite a few polygons. I'm going to just divide. That's 31,000, 120,000, 500,000, 2 million polygons. I have 2 million polygons here. So if I change this material to white or to just gray, just to showcase this, I'm going to press Z to bring the widget out. I'm going to click here and I'm just going to bring this guy on top, okay? And I'm going to say, hey, with this brush, I'm going to put it into freehand. I'm going to actually do a Z add, and then I'm going to press Z to hide the widget, and then I'm going to do this. Yeah, see, like nothing happened, right? But if I move this, you can see that I passed this information into this, but only applying that. Okay, and again, the same thing happened if I have this. Okay, I'm gonna disable this because this is sculpting, adding or subtracting. I'm just gonna say color. I'm just gonna pass the color into this using this brush. So I'll do this. Okay. Okay. Seems like nothing happened, but when I move this, I actually passed the color in, but I don't think I have the color because it's taking the, I know what I mean, it's just taking the actual black here, transparent, but that's okay. I think here it passed just, okay, it's passed the color, the white one didn't pass it because it's supposed to have white in the background. So you can see that I passed this color, black color, into this. Just remember when I told you at the beginning as well that if you have less polygon, then this will be blocky. And see if I lower this, you see how blocky it looks. You will not be able to pass the information in there. So I'm gonna undo this, go back to this point. I'm actually going to go here into preferences. I'm going to reinitialize that brush. And then I'm gonna press Z, okay? I'm gonna move this guy here, put it back the way it was. I'm gonna press Z again, so I hide the widget. And now, if I bring a primitive, like we talk about, this guy for now, cylinder, I draw it, put it there. And then if I click on this to do something, it says, hey, make polymesh 3D. I make polymesh 3D. And it's still nothing happens, okay? If I use, for example, another brush, like the move brush, and if I increase the brush size, okay, I should be able to do something here. No, okay. Okay, another brush there, but this one, standard brush. If I do something here, you can see I can't do anything in this, okay? And the reason for that is because it's expecting this image to be on top in order to do something like subtracting and adding sculpting or color. So what you have to do in order to make it work again, and then only use this thing as a reference, okay? Just go here into samples and then check this button, uncheck this button called spotlight projection. By doing that, then you see you have all the brushes available for you to work now, okay? And this will not be affected by anything. Even if this is on top of that, we will not be able to project any color or any depth information onto the geometry, okay? Because it's only been used for just for us as a referencing tool, just to put images in the viewport. You can move them wherever you want, you know, you can arrange them, file them. Like I said, go online, find a tutorial and have a look, because there are tons of them. Something you will invest a little bit of time, you'll be all right after that, okay? So I'm going to stop the video now, okay? We talked about the spotlight. And then the next one, we're going to talk a little bit about how we're going to be inserting the primitive and how we're going to be working and then putting everything together. Again, the next time you open this, we're not going to have this reference here because I don't need it. I just need, I'm going to use my pure reference on the other screen so I can work with that, okay, using pure ref. Okay, that's it for now, guys. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.